Alrighty, let's move on to the NBA stories, and we got to just kind of go over the NBA trade deadline yesterday. So let's just kind of recap everything that went down. So here we go. We'll talk about LaMarcus Aldridge in a second. And Kyle Lowry. Well, we could talk about Kyle Lowry now. So the Raptors decided not to deal him. We've been hearing about Kyle Lowry kind of trade rumors really for the entire week, and I really didn't get it. I mean, the Raptors, Kyle Lowry's a main piece to that team. He's the main facilitator on the floor, so I really didn't expect them to trade Kyle Lowry, and they don't, so I'm a little vindicated there, I would say. But yeah, I mean, the Raptors weren't really looking for anything. They were kind of saying, the offers for Kyle Lowry were a little disrespectfully light, so that's why they just decided to keep him. This is the last season of the Raptors kind of under Nick Nurse with all these role players. After this season, they'll have to try and do something because it's clearly not working. I mean, they're not even in the playoff tournament, I don't think, right now. Are they top 10 in the East? I think, what was the last time we checked? I think they were like 11 or 12? 11, here it is. So they do have their kind of, it's light work. I mean, they're only a game and a half out from, the play-in tournament, so they can still make it. And I expect them to make it. They have the pieces to make the play-in tournament, just don't have the real pieces to make a deep run, I don't think. Like we said, these are all role players on the team besides Kyle Lowry. We can call him an all-star, superstar, whatever you want. I don't mind that. But Fred VanVleet, Siakam, they just lost Norman Powell, so that's a little bit of a hit, but they did get Gary Trent Jr., so, a little bit of a swap there. But either way, Raptors keeping Kyle Lowry, and I think that's the right decision. Let them have their kind of last full run here, and let's see what they can do. Alrighty, Lonzo Ball also did not get dealt in. Another one that I wasn't really quite sure on where we were hearing this. We were hearing so many, rumors about, for a week, 2 weeks leading up to the trade deadline that, people were, interested in Lonzo and everybody wanted Lonzo to go to their team, but we weren't buying that. We're not big believers in Lonzo. We think he's decent. We think he's maybe an average, slightly above average, maybe in the passing ability, but it's nothing that you go out and kind of sell out, your future to go and get. I mean, like we said, he didn't make it work with LeBron James. How can you not make it work with that? And then he's, with the Pelicans where he can kind of step it up and, kind of take his experience with, what he learned with the Lakers and LeBron and carry it over and try to be the man and just try to be, the veteran presence, the leader on this team. But this Pelicans team is not even winning games. And they've got scores. They got Zion, Brandon Ingram, and Steven Adams. They still have that. And Josh Hart off the bench. So they still have great scores. But Lonzo's really not making this team any better. I mean, you give me another point guard and, I think they still have the same success that Lonzo's having. So I wasn't really understanding the whole Lonzo Ball trades and everybody wanting him and he doesn't get dealt. So once again, I mean, I wasn't believing in it and he doesn't get dealt. So I'll let y'all decide what that means about our show. Alrighty, this one. I didn't really see this one. I've heard about it, but it was kind of interesting. So, Celtics trade Daniel Tyce to the Bulls. I mean, once again, we're not big believers in Daniel Tyce, so the Celtics get rid of him. So, they moved Daniel Tyce to Chicago, now the Celtics are getting Moritz Wagner in place of Daniel Tyce. So, I don't know if Moritz Wagner is any better than Daniel Tyce. Mo Wagner is not tier 1 big, tier 2 big even, maybe tier 3 big, which we probably would have put Daniel Tyce maybe tier 2. Doesn't get us to double-digit points a game, doesn't get us to double-digit rebounds, so we can't put him in tier 1 or tier 2. Moritz Wagner, kind of the same. He doesn't play a lot of minutes there for Washington, so we'll see what he's able to kind of do here for the Celtics, but I think he's kind of going to be their third big. I think they're going to start promoting Robert Williams a little bit more because we have been decently impressed with Robert Williams these past 2 weeks here. Coming off the bench, I think he's been kind of providing a decent, big kind of just performance all around, defense, offense, better than Daniel Tyce because we're not big fans of Daniel Tyce. So Celtics get rid of Daniel Tyce. Interesting there. He does go to the Bulls. Bulls are kind of fine there. Daniel Tyce would actually kind of do decent with the Bulls since they're already kind of good at the center position. Maybe move Daniel Tyce to the 4. Maybe have him and Thaddeus Young coming off the bench together. Maybe you have Thaddeus Young go to the 4, the starting 4, or Daniel Tyce be the starting power forward at the 4. So we'll see what the team does with kind of their new pieces and what their lineup's going to be, but they've got some nice kind of beef. If their outside shooters kind of work, if Zach LaVine can still kind of get this same great production, this monster production that we're seeing out of kind of Zach LaVine this year, this is going to be a good Bulls team because they got the bigs. They got Vucevic, obviously. We're going to talk about that. We already kind of broke it down, but they got Vucevic in the trade, so that's their starting big. You get still Thaddeus Young out there. Now you get Daniel Tyce, so 3 solid bigs there. I mean, I'm good. I like Daniel Tyce as a third big, as kind of maybe even a second option, but I don't like him in the starting lineup. Kind of like what we say about Kelly Olynyk. We do like Kelly Olynyk, and he's a good kind of big out there, a good kind of stretch to the floor big that can hit the 3, but we think he's a better kind of bench big than he is in that starting rotation for the Heat, and we'll also talk about that because he got dealt as well. So Celtics trade Daniel Tyce to the Bulls. Interesting. So we'll see how he does there for the Bulls, but I think he could do good there. He could do good there. Not a lot of pressure. Let me be the third big. He can definitely do that. That's more of his role in my opinion. Alrighty. So, and the Celtics also lose Jeff Teague and Javonte Green in the trade as well for all of that. Alrighty, little trade here. Warriors trade Wanamaker, so they get rid of Brad Wanamaker to the Hornets. That's going to be interesting as well, and another kind of decent kind of big there for the Hornets a little bit. Alrighty, what else do we get here? All right, and this is the big one. This one we haven't talked about. This is the best one, and if we have to kind of, we'll do it at the end of kind of who won the trade overall, but I think we got to talk about the Heat as true contenders of winning the NBA trade deadline because they pick up Victor Oladipo from the Rockets, and we kind of said to watch his name because we saw him not playing the last 2 games for the Rockets, even though he was healthy and ready to rock, so that gave us a little bit of, ooh, are they trying to trade him? And they were in the Heat, and this one came like right at 3 o'clock. I mean, like, I didn't even hear about this one until like 3:10, 10 minutes after the trade light ended. So I don't know if Adam Silver let some things slide over there because I did not hear this one before 3 o'clock. I mean, even look at these tweets. 3:11 by Woj. Woj is 11 minutes late on the trade deadline on a big one. This was probably the biggest trade of the night. Victor Oladipo going to the Heat, a championship level caliber team, getting a freaking championship level talent here. I mean, the story speaks for itself, so I don't know what was going on here. I think this may have been a little bit of a late trade, but we'll let it slide because I like it. We'll let it slide because I do like this trade a lot. So Heat get Victor Oladipo, and guess what they gave up? Not that much. Avery Bradley, who hasn't been playing for this team in a while, and then Kelly Olynyk. So you got rid of Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a 2022 pick swap. So you didn't lose a pick, you just swapped it. So you'll get probably a worse pick. Unfortunate, but you got some nice players. They still have Goran Dragic, who we absolutely love. So you got Goran Dragic, Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, Tyler Hero. They did a trade. Did they get rid of? No, they still got Kendrick Nunn. Did they deal Kendrick Nunn? No, they still got Kendrick Nunn, right? He just played yesterday for them. Make sure. Kendrick Nunn. They still got Kendrick Nunn, so oh my goodness. I mean, oh my God, they basically gave up nothing and got a real great, solid player in Victor Oladipo, and that's what the Heat are looking for, just solid, reliable, three-point shooters, outside scorers. Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo, they can handle, the ins and outs. They can all shoot the 3. Bam Adebayo can play down low. They can facilitate the floor, but they just needed somebody else to kind of be that other third great scoring option because we really haven't been able to rely on Tyler Hero from the 3, Duncan Robinson for the 3, but that's where Victor Oladipo comes, and now they're getting even deeper, and now just less pressure for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, so hopefully they can play a little bit more free out there. This Heat team has been this is all they're missing, folks. This is what I didn't know what the Heat were missing, but this is it. It's Victor Oladipo. So I mean, watch out for the starting lineup. Kendrick Nunn, Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo. Is that going to be their starting lineup? Just absolutely insanity in the scoring department. So oh man, I think so far of all the trades that we've just just kind of went over so far today, this is the best one. We'll see if anything kind of upsets that. But, oh, man, what a great pickup. And I don't really hear a lot of this. I don't hear, like, everybody on ESPN going wild or everybody on Fox Sports going wild. Do y'all not understand how great of a pick this is for the Heat? I mean, they got rid of Kelly Olynyk. That's not even that bad. We didn't like Kelly Olynyk that much, and I would rather have Victor Oladipo than Kelly Olynyk. Yes, to get a little bit of a, a little bit less deep at the big department. They're going to have to still play kind of Trevor Reeves a little bit more. Andre Iguodala is going to have to probably see a lot more minutes as well. So hopefully he can kind of, stay up to date a little bit, stay in shape, because we know Andre Iguodala is kind of aging out of the league slowly. So we'll see what happens, but I think this is an absolutely steal for the Heat. Great pickup, and once again, the Heat owner, Pat Riley, just making moves after moves, getting this team. I mean, folks, they just got to the finals last season. You don't think Victor Oladipo is going to be able to beat this Bucks team? Come on. Now they may even be able to kind of compete with the Nets a little bit in the kind of their offensive star firepower. So we'll see what happens, but I love this. Love it. Alrighty, let's keep going now. Alrighty, Raptors trade Terrence Davis to the Kings for a future second-round pick. Nothing really kind of noteworthy there. Alrighty, and this is another interesting trade here, and one I think I like a lot. Clippers trade Lou Williams to the Hawks for Rondo. So that was kind of nice scoring production off the bench for the Clippers. Lou Williams, now he's going to the Hawks, who have a very lackluster bench, but I'm assuming Lou Williams is probably going to find his way into the starting lineup at some point. So I love that for the Hawks. The Hawks just need more depth. They need more playmakers. So I'm all about Lou Williams, a certified player out there. Absolutely. So nice kind of three-point shooting, scoring ability. He can do all of that. So that's what the Hawks are missing, just depth. And they got nice scoring depth there with Lou Williams. And then they traded Rondo. I mean, Rondo wasn't really doing anything for the Hawks team. He was playing very, very minimal minutes off the bench. And I mean, the bench wasn't even that good for the Hawks. So Rondo really couldn't really be utilized to his full potential there. So he goes to the Clippers now, and the Clippers are in desperate need of a true point guard, a good point guard. Patrick Beverley's their starting point guard. You have Rondo coming off the bench. I mean, look what Rondo did for the Lakers in their championship run. Do I have him up? Yeah, right here. Here he is. I mean, absolutely fantastic. He's been coming off the bench for the Lakers in their 2019-2020 NBA championship run. So we'll just go to his let's go to his playoffs, because he was truly getting it done for the playoffs there. Where is it? I just had it. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. So here we go. Career playoffs for the Lakers in their championship run just from last season. I mean, didn't play the entire first round, but then, I mean, started to come off the bench, just got solid minutes. I mean, look at some of these games right here. 10 points, 9 assists, 21 points, 9 assists, 11 points, 8 assists, 3 points, 5 assists in that second playoff series, so still getting it done. The third playoff series, 7 points, 9 assists, 3 points, 9 assists, 9 points, 8 assists, 11 points, 7 assists, 8 points, 4 assists. And then in the finals against the Heat, 7 points, 4 assists, 16 points, 10 assists, 4 points, 5 assists, 2 points, 5 assists, 4 points, 5 assists. And then in the game 6, 19 points, 4 assists, closing it out, helping the Lakers close it out. So this man could definitely get it done in the playoffs, and that's what the Clippers are looking for, having sustained greatness in the playoffs. So a great pickup by this Clippers team. We'll see how well he works. I mean, I don't know. Did Rondo just kind of drop off from last season into this season, or was it the Hawks team that really just made Rondo not that great? And I'm going to go with it's the Hawks team that made Rondo not so great. So not a great fit there for Rondo this season for the Hawks. What is he doing? I mean, he only started 2 games, so he's still coming off the bench, and that's fine. I mean, he's aging out of this league a little bit. So he can definitely give you a great production off the bench, as we just saw what he did with the Lakers last season, now back in LA with the Clippers. But this season with the Hawks, I mean, he's averaging 3 points and, 3 assists. So, I mean, nothing really great. But like we said, I think we're going to kind of chalk that up to a lackluster kind of Hawks team, especially in their depth off the bench. So, great pickup for both of these teams. The Hawks get a good shooter, good scorer, which they need, and the Clippers get a nice little facilitator that can kind of facilitate the second team. That's what they need. So fantastic all the way around. Everybody wins there. Alrighty, what else do we get here? Here we go. Alrighty, Blazers acquire Raptors, Norman Powell. I love this as well. Truly great for both teams, I think. Raptors get another kind of younger piece, a nice scorer piece off the bench. And the Blazers, I mean, they get a kind of solidified score here in Norman Powell. I mean, he's averaging 19 points a game. That's what the Blazers need. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they kind of do in their starting lineup. We just saw CJ McCollum go absolutely nuts in the first quarter of last game, but he kind of fizzled out a little bit in the fourth quarter, a little bit. So I still think CJ McCollum's still going to get the starting shooting guard role. Norman Powell. I think, did we see Norman Powell play the 3 there for the Raptors? Because that could be pretty good. Have Derrick Jones Jr. come off the bench, elevate Norman Powell to kind of the 3. So you have Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Norman Powell, 1, 2, 3 starting in the starting lineup. And then I think that would be better for Derrick Jones Jr. to come off the bench, because I don't think his game is truly in a starting rotation right now. Hasn't really truly impressed us, and kind of, he has nice athleticism. That's what we really love. But, in the points, assists, rebounding, doesn't really do too much consistently. He's a decent defender. So that's why he's kind of out there right now. But I think Norman Powell could go at the 3 a little bit here for the Blazers and make it work. So, and then that just gives, the Blazers just more depth off the bench. Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Jones Jr., that's what we're talking about. Yusuf Nurkic, if he ever freaking comes back. But I think it's an absolute steal for both teams here. I mean, both got something they need. Raptors getting a little bit more depth. I mean, that's kind of what they're missing. They just kind of need a solid kind of bench piece. Their starters can all get it done. They've still got nice scores in their offensive lineup, so I don't think they'll miss Norman Powell too much, especially you'll get, decent compensation in the points department with Gary Trent Jr., and they also got Rodney Hood. So once again, just making the Raptors a little bit more deep. So clear win for both sides, in my opinion. Alrighty, the Sixers get George Hill Grant Hill George Hill. I was right. What am I talking about? In a 3-team trade. So that's pretty good for them. Kind of just shoring up their bench a little bit. A nice little kind of forward for them. Alrighty, Heat add Kings Namaji Jellica. That's kind of solidifying their bigs, because they just lost Kelly Olynyk, so they had to get another big. So kind of a good solid pickup here. Alrighty, and then the probably the last blockbuster trade here, Nuggets for Aaron Gordon, folks. Magic trade Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets. Now the Nuggets, very, very good here. I mean, just getting another big here to kind of help out Vucevic a little bit. We'll see where Aaron Gordon plays. How does Michael Porter Jr. kind of fit into that? Does he go to the 4? Gordon goes to the 3. Does Gordon go to the 4? Michael Porter Jr. stays at the 3? Or does Michael Porter Jr. just come off the bench? And I do like Michael Porter Jr.'s game. And he's kind of, been outspoken, saying that he wants a larger role in this offensive scheme for the Nuggets. So he probably won't like going down to the bench, but we'll see kind of how it plays out to have all these stars in the starting lineup. And Aaron Gordon, he kind of wants to be a star. Jokic, I mean, he's the star of the team, putting up 30 points a game with like 12 rebounds. Jamal Murray, he's kind of a little bit not too much ball dependent, but I mean, he could put up to 25 points as well every single game. So it's going to be interesting to see how this offense works. It's a lot of great scores, a lot of scoring potential here in the starting lineup. I think one player is going to have to slide down to the bench, and it's definitely not going to be Vucevic, and it's definitely not going to be Jamal Murray. So we'll see how the starting lineup shakes out for the Nuggets. But, I mean, just getting deeper, getting better, more pieces, and, I mean, that's what the Nuggets are looking for, just more kind of scoring potential here to kind of beat some of these other kind of high-powered offensive teams that they will be facing in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens here for the Nuggets. I'm definitely interested to see what they do for their starting lineup. All right, what else do we get here? Bulls get who is this? Who is that? They get Mo Wagner and Chandler Hutchinson. We already kind of previewed the Mo Wagner. All right, Celtics, here we go. Let's talk about them. They land Evan Fournier from the Magic. Like we said, we were kind of clowning the Celtics yesterday when we were talking about the trade deadline that Aaron Gordon got dealt, Vucevic got dealt, and Evan Fournier got dealt. And the Celtics, who kind of needed a solid, better big, they went with Evan Fournier out of the three that, the kind of two other kind of good bigs that you could have landed. Aaron Gordon would have made it probably the Celtics starting lineup a little wonky, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But, I mean, you put, Jason Tatum at the 4, you could put Aaron Gordon at the 4 as well. I think that would work, and then Daniel Tyce at the 5 still, but we know he's not there anymore. But still, just kind of what potentially could have happened. And then if like we said, if the Celtics got Vucevic, oh my goodness, that would have been a championship level team. They really could have rivaled the Nets to come out of the East, honestly. But they did not do that. They went with Evan Fournier. Once again, kind of interesting. I mean, they definitely just need scoring depth. They don't have any depth, but they just got rid of their big Daniel Tyce, so they don't kind of have that big depth now. They're really kind of doubling down on Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, and I really think that's kind of a bad decision. I'm not truly impressed with either of those bigs, but I think the Celtics really should have went a little bit harder to get a better kind of proven talent big. Give me the double-digit points. Give me the double-digit assists, because that's something that the Celtics are truly lacking there in their big department. But they land Evan Fournier, so we'll see what they do. We'll see kind of how their starting lineup kind of shakes out. I'm kind of predicting Marcus Smart maybe drops out of the starting lineup, comes down to the bench, or maybe they move Marcus Smart to the 4 for their small ball rotation. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. But Evan Fournier, they get a decent score, and once again, that's kind of what the Celtics need. They just need depth and good bigs, and I don't know if Evan Fournier kind of solves their depth problems that much. So we'll see how this kind of works out for the Celtics. Still not believing in that. I'm still not big believers in the Celtics team, but alrighty. Keep on going here, because there's still one we have not talked about, and there it is. Magic trade Vucevic to the Bulls, and absolutely love it. Like we said, the Bulls just shoring up their offensive line. They've got the bigs now. They're all good on bigs. They don't need any more good bigs out there. Having Vucevic and Thaddeus Young, and still, Zach LaVine. He's a shooting guard, but he's still a decent size out there who could play some good defense. So, I mean, the Bulls just making a real push here to get into the play-in tournament, to get a playoff spot, and I'm all about it. I'm big on what this Bulls team can do. I mean, Zach LaVine, are we going to talk about this story when we get there? Yeah, I got it up. I mean, the most points scored in the fourth quarter this season, it's Zach LaVine with 301 points in the fourth quarter alone. So, scoring is really not their problem, just kind of, defensive big, low post defense, so they're going to shore that up with Vucevic. Vucevic has no problem scoring as well. He could put up the 25 to 30 plus points every single night while getting the double-digit rebounds, while getting some probably 5. What is he averaging for assists? Because I want to say it's pretty dang good. So let's get that up really quickly. I want to say this man is averaging like 29, 11, and 7. I want to say it's something wild like that. 24, 11, and 3. Oh, a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter on the points and the assists than I was thinking. But, he can get us to 30, the 25 plus when we need it. The 11 rebounds right on par. The 3 assists. I want to see some games, because I know there's some games where this man's gotten a triple-double. Is there a way that we can just look up triple-doubles really quickly? Let me just break it down. 30 double-doubles, 1 triple. He's only got 1 triple-double already. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, little wrong there, but we still like Vucevic. That doesn't change. still the points and the rebounds. That's what we're looking for there, and that's what he's going to bring to the team. So great pickups here by the Bulls here at the trade deadline. It's going to definitely make them interesting for sure. Some nice pieces here to kind of shore up their team a little bit, and let's see how it all kind of works together. And then the kind of trade that kind of set everything off. The first one, I think, of the day yesterday. Cavs trade JaVale McGee to the Nuggets. So once again, the Nuggets just getting another kind of depth piece there for JaVale McGee. And I've kind of been secretly impressed with JaVale McGee this season, still making it work, even though he's kind of aging out of this league, taking a kind of a big step back on this kind of final couple of seasons here, kind of ring chasing a little bit. When he went to the Warriors, kind of coming off the bench, limited role there. Same thing with the Lakers. Him and Dwight Howard were really kind of splitting series. Who's going to play off the bench? And now he's here with the Cavs, but now got sent to the Nuggets. So we'll see if the Nuggets, look, watch JaVale McGee get a ring with the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Nuggets here and close out on some nice kind of championship runs here. And I think that's the last one. Alrighty, so that's kind of the recap of the NBA trade deadline. There are a couple of names that are getting buyouts, so let's kind of go over these now. Andre Drummond, we've all known that he was the first real big name, really kind of out there for trades, but he does not go anywhere because nobody's going to trade for him when, he wants to get out and they're not playing him because they're either going to trade him or buy him out. So no team really traded for Andre Drummond for that reason, so they end up buying him out. The Cavs do buy him out, so now he's able to go wherever he wants, sign with whatever team he wants. So the teams that are kind of, the biggest suitors for Andre Drummond are the Lakers, the Knicks, the Clippers, the Celtics, and the Hornets. If he goes to the Lakers, absolutely fantastic. They need something in the meantime while LeBron James, because we're going to see in a second, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, folks. Not great. Anthony Davis could be back in 2 weeks, but Andre Drummond here, shore up their team a little bit more. And then if you have Andre Drummond, I don't know where you would put him. Maybe the 4, LeBron at the 3, Anthony Davis at the 5, Andre Drummond at the 4, possibly, or Andre Drummond comes off the bench with oh man, we love that man. Montrezl Harrell. So, we could be looking at some nice big depth here for the Lakers. I love it. I absolutely love it. LeBron James, he just wants some bigs or a shooting guard or like a point guard that can shoot or score the ball. So he's got the big in Anthony Davis, shoring up the big with Andre Drummond. I'm absolutely all about it. The Knicks. I don't think he'll go to the Knicks. They got really Julius Randle out there. You could put Andre Drummond at the 5, and have both of them out there. That could be pretty good. But I don't think Andre Drummond's going to go to the Knicks. I think he wants to go to a little bit of a more playoff caliber, championship level caliber team where the Knicks are a bunch of role players that are kind of exceeding everybody's expectations. That's why they're kind of in the playoff hunt right now. So I don't know how sustainable it is for how long. I think Andre Drummond might choose the Lakers over the Knicks. The Clippers, once again, a championship level caliber team. He goes there absolutely fantastic. He can challenge. He'll get the starting job over Serge Ibaka. But then Serge Ibaka coming off the bench. That's what he did for who was it? The Raptors last season. I think he came off the bench for them and he was absolutely fantastic. So I've got no problem with Serge Ibaka coming off the bench. Andre Drummond being the center for them, and that could be a real good team. The Celtics, yes. Go to the Celtics. They need the big. They need the big. So if Andre Drummond goes to the Celtics, like I said, that will make them a championship level caliber team. They just need a good big. If they got Vucevic, like I said, it would have made them a championship level caliber team. If they get Andre Drummond, same thing. He's not as good as Vucevic, but he's still up there. He can get you the double-digit points, the double-digit rebounds, a nice defense in the post as well, so great for them. And then the Hornets, I would love if he went to the Hornets. Absolutely, I like what this Hornets team is, and Cody Zeller's all right, but if you have Andre Drummond and Cody Zeller coming off the bench, now we're talking about a real good team out here. But once again, like we say, Hornets not a championship level caliber team quite yet, still kind of in that playoff caliber team, so we'll see how they kind of make their run for Andre Drummond. But I would say Lakers probably 1, Clippers 2, Celtics 3, but if he goes to the Celtics, watch out for the Celtics, truly. Alrighty, and then we kind of had the same situation going on with LaMarcus Aldridge. We saw the Spurs are going to be buying him out. Or they were trying to trade him, but once again, you're not going to trade for somebody that they're going to get rid of, so they are going to buy him out, and now he's going to have conversations with the Miami Heat, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nets, before deciding on his next destination. So once again, kind of just for the Lakers and Clippers, shoring up their beef a little bit more. Same thing with the Heat. The Heat just lost Kelly Olynyk, so maybe, have LaMarcus Aldridge play the 4, come off the bench, so getting a little bit deeper there. So it could definitely go to the Heat and make that, wherever he goes, all these teams listed right here are already championship level caliber teams that will just put the icing on the cake and really kind of just put him above every other team here. And if he goes to the Nets, it's just going to be unfair at this point, and we're going to have Adam Silver to step in at some point and be like, all right, enough, Nets, enough, KD, Kyrie, James Harden, Blake Griffin, enough. Let other people have some players, damn. So we'll see what we get there. I don't know how fast we should probably expect them. I wouldn't probably expect them today. But who knows? Who knows? And as I say that, I go to update and refresh. But yeah, nothing has come out yet. So probably expect maybe early, late next week, I would say. See where he goes. Because, I mean, he could take his time a little bit. Ain't no pressure on that man. He can sign whenever he wants. So that's the trade deadline, folks. No LaMarcus Aldridge trade. No Andre Drummond trade. No Lonzo Ball trade, thank goodness. And some nice additions. And if we have to kind of just say who won the trade overall, I got to give it up to the Heat, man. Getting Victor Oladipo, I mean, exactly what they needed. A nice score on their team. A nice consistent score on that team. I should kind of clarify a little bit more. We know Jimmy Butler's consistent. We know Goran Dragic is consistent. That's why they've been winning games, because they're both in the lineup together. But Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn is decently consistent as well. But Victor Oladipo, the most consistent of those names that we just mentioned, besides Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, because they're kind of on the same level. So I got to give it up to the Heat for the winners. They are easily the winner there. Bulls definitely second winner there of getting a lot of nice pieces there. A loser of the trade, the Magic. I mean, they got rid of everybody. They got rid of all their pieces. Now they're building for the future. I think they've got 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. So 4 nice picks. So, but once again, like we say, no draft pick in the NBA really kind of comes out year one and makes a huge impact. It really takes 3, 4, 5 seasons for them to get, to that starting caliber level of player that we see, with every other team. So, yeah, I would probably say the Magic, big old losers there. Getting rid of everybody, Vucevic and Aaron Gordon. I thought they would trade one, not both. Yeah, I think that might be the only loser. I think everybody else did pretty solid. Nuggets maybe the third biggest winner. Yeah, I'd probably say Heat, Bulls, Nuggets as top 3 winners. Celtics maybe a little bit of a loser. Getting Evan 48, that's so comical to me. Yeah, so let's officially declare it. Heat win the 2021 NBA trade deadline. There it is.